Today we're talking wide angle and anamorphic lenses for your DJI Mavic 3. What are they? How do they work? What do the results look like? And should you use them? Let's check out these awesome Freewell filters and jump right in. So Freewell have recently sent me these DJI Mavic 3 anamorphic and wide angle filters with ND filters attached, and this is actually genius. I'm going to get into this later in the video, but the way these ND filters attach on top of the wide angle and anamorphic lenses is just fantastic. It's a great feature of these filters, and I'll be showing that later in this video. But they've sent me these out to try, and I've recently been out having the best time trying these with my DJI Mavic 3. I've said it in a previous video, but I kind of forgot how capable that drone was with all the Mini 3 noise at the minute. And the Mini 3 Pro is a fantastic drone, but the Mavic 3 is large, capable, and a very, very high performance drone that can get you such quality video and photos. It's unbelievable, and I've been having a blast kind of falling back in love with it recently, and these filters have really helped me fall in love with it. So a big thanks to Freewell for sending them out. Before I get in and talk about them, if you want to pick them up at any time during this video, I've posted a link in the description down below. So I'll talk about the lenses first, and then I'll talk about how they install on your drone and the build quality of them, which, spoiler alert, is fantastic. So we'll start with the wide angle lens. The wide angle lens changes the field of view up to 125 degrees, and that's just going to give you a much wider field of view. This is great for landscapes. I find it fantastic for landscapes. The wide angle lens look is unmistakable, and it really just accentuates landscapes whenever you use it. But something I find it really great for recently is being able to get quite close to subjects or point of interests, but getting quite a lot of the background in. And again, this gives this really unique view. And I find this great for photos and great for videos. And this just helps show your subject in its surroundings. The other filter is a anamorphic filter. So an anamorphic filter records a compressed version of the image that you have to stretch back out in post. This is called de-squeezing. And when you do, you get this really nice cinematic style that you see used quite a lot in films. This is the anamorphic look caused by the anamorphic filter. Now, the de-squeeze ratio of this anamorphic filter, don't worry if you don't know what that means, but if you do know what it means, then you'll want to know what it is 1.18 times. So that is the de-squeeze ratio for this anamorphic filter. What that basically means is that's what you need to de-squeeze it by or stretch it back out by when you're editing the footage in post, because when you view it, it'll be really compressed in, and then you de-squeeze it and stretch it back out, and you get this beautiful cinematic look. One of the things that it causes is if you've ever seen a film where there's cars or lights and you get these horizontal light streaks or lens flares, that is caused by the anamorphic lens. So that's one of the effects and looks caused by using an anamorphic lens. But again, I've been out using this in landscape style shots, wide style shots, and I find that you get such a cinematic look. It's really been great fun using this lens to try out different styles, try out different looks, and get that more cinematic feel when using the Mavic 3, because I think the Mavic 3 is a drone really capable of producing high-level cinematic shots. Now, the only thing I'll say and have noticed about using these anamorphic filters is the drone can't really seem to do white balance automatically. There's been a few times I've had the white balance left in auto, and when I have come home and looked at the clips, they seem to be very green. So the way around this is to make sure that you do manual white balance when you're out flying the drone, or you're going to have to correct that in post. That's the only thing I've noticed in using these anamorphic filters that you need to be aware of when out recording with them. Now, when it comes to fitting these Freewell filters, it really couldn't be simpler. You simply remove the filter that is currently on your Mavic 3 by twisting it off and lifting it away from the camera. You then take either the wide angle or anamorphic lens or filter, whichever one you want to use, you place it onto the camera, you align the holes up, and then you twist it back into place. It's the opposite of the motion that you would use to remove the filter. It takes literally seconds, and then it is held on your camera super securely. Now, when you put these wide angle filters on, somehow through magic, the app will automatically know that you now have a wide angle lens attached, and you'll see that on your DJI Fly app on the top left. You'll see a message to say that the wide angle has been attached. The other thing worth mentioning is the wide angle and anamorphic lenses do not affect the tele camera. So when you switch into a 7x zoom, which is when the camera switches over to the second zoom or tele camera, this will be completely unaffected and will work as normal. It will not be wide angle or anamorphic. Now, I want to talk about the ND filters because this is a absolute stroke of genius. Normally, whenever you are out on a sunny day, you need to use ND filters. You want to bring the exposure down while keeping your frame rate down so that you get motion blur. But one of the cons of using a wide angle or anamorphic lens in the past was you then couldn't use an ND filter. So you had to bring up that shutter speed and you would get sometimes jittery footage. Well, Freewell have thought about this and they've ingeniously added ND filters which can attach on top of your wide angle lens or anamorphic filters. So the way this works is you put on your wide angle or anamorphic lens, and then if it's a really bright and sunny day and you need to bring the exposure down, you can attach one of the ND filters on top of your wide angle or anamorphic lens and it just clicks on. You can also quickly pull it off and put a different one on. It's a system that works really, really well. Included in this kit is an ND8, an ND16, 32 and 64, and that will cover you for the sunniest days. That is going to be more than you'll ever need when using these filters. Now, when it comes to the build quality, it's absolutely fantastic as with all Freewell products. You get this really nice case. Within the case, the filters are presented really well and also held really securely, which is a good thing. You don't want the filters rattling about inside the case, inside your bag. The ND filters go on the top and the wide angle and anamorphic are in the bottom. You also get a lifetime warranty. They have dust resistance, which is great because I've been using this on the beach recently and the sand's been blowing all over them. They're also scratch resistant, which is great if in case you drop one or anything like that, then you know that you're going to have more resistance against scratches. So what do I think about these filters? I think they open up lots of creative possibilities with your drone. If you're a fan of that cinematic cinema look, then you're going to love the anamorphic lens. It's going to give you that real cinema look, that cinema appearance to your footage. And also whenever you get the light streaking, it will look fantastic. The wide angle lens is a great addition if you shoot a lot of landscapes, or you want to get close to your subjects while getting a lot of the background in, or you just love that wide angle look. You'll love the wide angle lens. The addition of the ND filters makes the wide angle and anamorphic lens even more useful than ever because now you can use them in them really bright sunny days while bringing the exposure down. So if you like getting creative shots with your drone, I recommend that you pick up these filters. I've loved using them, and like I say, they've helped me fall back in love with this guy. Not that I didn't fall out of love with it, it's just there's been so much going on with the Mini 3 Pro at the minute that this guy has been sitting kind of feeling a little bit lonely, but not anymore. It's been a joy to be out recently using this drone and enjoying getting photos and videos with it. If you want to pick these filters up, there's a link in the description down below. Again, thank you so much Freewell for sending me these out. Fantastic lenses, fantastic filters, whatever you want to call them. A fantastic product in my opinion. So if you've liked this video and you've learned something new, please let me know by giving me the thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. If you love all things drones, Mavic 3, Mini 3 Pro, Mini 2, and you want to learn how to get better photos and more cinematic videos with your drone, then I recommend you check out my channel where I have a ton of other content to help you level up your drone game. If you want to stick around and see a few more of them now, here's a few I personally recommend checking out. I'll not keep you back any further. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you over there.